Hello students and welcome back to the video lecture series of web programming. Today's topic is CSS color and background properties. I am your instructor Ms. Shruti Rawal. So let us start with today's outline. The things that we are going to study in today's lecture is, the first thing is CSS color property. Now we already know that if you want to set font color in HTML, that is normal HTML, we had used font tag, and along with the tag we were using color attribute for setting the font color. Now instead of that, if you want to give color, that is font color in CSS, we will study what is the property name and what are the methods in which you can set color for the font. Along with the color property, in today's lecture we are also going to see some background properties. So now in background there are two things that we can set. You can set the background color of any element, or you can set an image for a background, right? So we will study that how to set a background color. Also we will study that what are the different properties if you are setting an image in background. Let us start with the first topic, that is CSS color property. Now by color here we are meaning font color, and if you want to set font color, the property name in CSS is color, C-O-L-O-R, that is the spelling. Okay. And if you want to specify color for any elements intermediate text, right? For example, if you have a paragraph and whatever text you are writing inside the paragraph, if you want that paragraph should be displayed in some other color than your by default color. By default color for every element in HTML is black. If you want to change that by default color, you have to explicitly set either the font tag in HTML, or you can externally set your CSS property, that is color property. Now there are various ways in which you can give the color property value. The basic ways are, the first is, here you can see that you can give value by giving color name. Now there are only 140 to 144 color names which are allowed in CSS color property name value. So for example, if you are aware about that color names, and if you have this, if you want that your color should be red, green, yellow, these basic colors, right, or the combinations of them, then you can go for this, that is color name. You can specify this hard coded name which is acceptable in the list of this color name values. Okay, so for example, there are 140 color names which are accepted for the color property value. You have to specify exactly the spelling of that color inside your property value. Then only your text will be displayed in that particular color. For example, if you are specifying property name value is equal to red, then the spelling should be exact R-E-D. If you write any other spelling, it will not understand what are you trying to say, right? So the first method in which you can set color is color name. The second method you can see over here is that you can set a hexadecimal value. This we have already studied in HTML also while specifying the color. These were the same methodologies in which we were giving color values. The second method is hexadecimal value, in which you are writing basically 6 values, but they are in pairs. So there is a first pair for red color, second pair for green color, and third pair for blue color. So we are basically specifying the intensity of red, green and blue, that is RGB value, right? Now the range for the first pair starts from 00 till FF. It means whatever value you are specifying for the first pair. Here in the example you can see that I have specified FF in the first pair. So it means that the combination, whatever combination of red, green and blue color you are going to mix, there should be the highest intensity of red. FF stands for highest intensity of red, and 00 stands for lowest intensity of red, and all the other values are in intermediate, right? So accordingly it will take the intensity of red. Similarly for the second value, that is second pair, you have to specify the intensity of green color, and for the last pair you have to specify the intensity of blue color. whatever intensity you are specifying, according to that intensity it will mix the colors and give you an output of the color, right, which is the final color. That is your, so according to that your final output of your color will be generated. Here you can see that I have specified FF 00 and 00. What does it mean? It means that for the first pair I have specified maximum intensity of red, that is FF. For the second pair, that stands for green color, I have specified minimum intensity, that is no green color should be there. And for the third pair, again I have specified minimum intensity, that is no blue color should be there. So you can understand from this that what will be the color in your output? It will be the darkest red color. Clear? And the last property specifying method is the actual RGB value. And how can we write the value? You have to specify RGB. You have to write this alphabet RGB, and in small brackets you have to specify 3 numbers, comma separated. Okay, and the first number again indicates the intensity for red, the second number indicates the intensity for green, and the third number indicates the intensity for blue. The range for this stands from 0 to 255. 0 stands for lowest intensity, it means you don't have this color present, right? So if you are specifying 0 in any of the color position, either red, green or blue, it means you don't want that color. If you are specifying 255, that means you want the highest or the largest intensity for that color. And you can specify any of the intermediate decimal values from 0 till 255, it will take accordingly, right? Also, after you specify these 3 values, it will again take the intensity of each red, green and blue, mix them and give you the final output of the color that is desired by you. Here again in our case, if I want the darkest red color, it means for the first value of RGB I have to specify 255. For the value of green and blue I have specified 00. It means I don't want any green or blue color in my output, right? So these are the 3 ways in which you can specify the color property value. Now let us take one example. So here you can see that I have returned this internal CSS, and inside this internal CSS you can see that I have specified font color for 2 different elements. What is the first element? You can see over here I have specified color colon blue, and for which element I have specified body. Okay, so it means that if I am specifying color blue for body element, all the elements that are the child elements of body will take this font color, that is whatever you are specifying inside the body, right, whatever tags, whether it is a paragraph tag, whether it is a table tag, whether it is heading tag, all the font color will be converted to which color? Blue color. Okay, unless you are explicitly taking any of this element and specifying color to it, then it may override the default color of body that you have given. Let us see that. So here you can get an idea that by default, if you are not specifying this second property, that is H1, what will happen? All the font color, that is of heading and paragraph, will be of which color? Blue color. Okay, but what have I done here? I have explicitly specifying that all the font color of all the elements of body should be blue except heading, because for heading tag I have separately taken H1 as a selector and I have specified which color? Color green. So what will happen over here? This property basically overrides this property, right? Because in CSS you know that if you are specifying the color property for body, I told that it will be specified for H1 as well as P tag. So when this first code is executed, this both the intermediate text will be colored blue, but after the execution of the first property, when it interprets that okay, heading selector is given and the heading text should be green, then the blue color will be overridden by which color? Green color. So in output, can you guess what can be the output? Exactly, the output is your heading will be in green color but your paragraph will be in blue color, right? So this is how you can specify your color. Now this is the first method that I have used for specifying my color value. You can use other two methods also, that is you can use hexadecimal value or you can use RGB format that we have seen. Okay, so here you can see that because the body color I have given blue, due to that this both paragraph has been given blue color, but which is overridden, yes, because headings color explicitly I have separately specified as a green color, it is taking green. Now let us study background properties. So I told you that there are major two things that you can set in your background of any element. Let's say it is a body, it is a paragraph, whatever you are taking as an element, there are basic two things that you can set in your background. The first is you can set your background color, and the second is you can set your background image. Now if you are setting background color, the property name is again background hyphen color. Why it is now you have to distinguish between both of them that we have studied currently. The first property that we have studied is only color, and that is not for your background color, that is specifically for the font color of your element. Whereas here you are specifying background color, it means your element, for example paragraph is taking some space in your page, the whole background of that paragraph if you want in some other color, then you have to specify this property, that is background hyphen color. That is the property name for background color. Now if you don't want to set color for your background, and instead if you are wanting to set some image in your background of any element, the property name is background hyphen image. Okay, we will study what is the syntax and how can we set the image as well as background color for your element. But if you are setting a background image, there are some other properties that you can use along with setting your background image, like background size. It means you can specify the size of your image. Okay, you can specify custom size of your image that you want. You can also specify background repeat property. We will see shortly what do you mean by background repeat property. That is also set when you are setting any background image. Background position property, that is also set for setting the position of your image that you have set in the background. So these properties are not standalone properties, they come only if you are setting the first property, that is background image property, right? Now let us see the first property, that is background color. I have already told you that background color does not specify the font color or text color, it explicitly specifies the background color of your element. Now for example, this is the syntax you can see, and here what I have done, yes, I have taken body selector, and for body selector what is the background color that I have chosen? Light blue. Okay, so what will happen, the HTML body, the whole body will be covered in which color? It will be covered in light blue color, and this will be the output. You can see over here that in my HTML I have one heading in which I have written some text, and I have a paragraph, right? The text color is black by default. You know that the text color is black by default in HTML. We are not altering the text color over here. So text color will not change, it will be black. But what are we altering or what are we giving in CSS property? We are giving background color. So the output is this, in which the body's background color changes to light blue, but the font color remains same, that is black. Clear? Also in background color, you can give either of the methods, that is you can use the color name, you can use the hexadecimal value, or you can use your RGB format. Now let us study background image and the properties that are related to background image. Now many a times you don't want to set background color, instead of that you have a attractive image that you want to set for a particular element. You can set the background image by using background image property. So here you can see the syntax, the property name is background hyphen image. Okay, and colon, after colon, what is the property value that you want to give? You may have created that image, that is you may have designed it on your own and you have stored somewhere in your PC, right? Or you may have stored it somewhere on the web or the files. You have to explicitly specify the path from where you want to get the image. And for specifying the path, what is the syntax in the value that you have to write? You have to write URL, right? URL stands for the address of your image, and inside URL you have two brackets after URL, and inside the bracket you have to specify the image path. You have to specify full path. Here I have written only the image name.jpg. Why? Because the image that that I want to get in the background of my body is stored in the same folder where my this particular HTML file is stored. So if it is the case, that is your HTML file and the image file both are inside the same folder, then you don't need to specify the whole path. You can just write the image name dot extension of the image. Extension of the image is very important. Do not forget to write the extension. Many times what does student do? They copy the path of the image, they paste it over here, but they forget to write the extension of the image, right? All image extensions are accepted, JPG, PNG, GIF, right? Whatever image type you have to specify the extension over here. So clear what is the syntax? The property name is background hyphen image, the colon, after colon you have your background image property value, which you have to specify. Inside URL you have to specify the whole image path, right? Now here you may wonder that ma'am, I am specifying background image, then why are you specifying the background color as well? Many times many browsers do not support background image, then what should be displayed in the background? So in such case, when background image is not displayed, it will fall back, it will go to the background color that I have specified, right? So the first priority, if you are giving background color as well as background image to the same element, here I have given both the properties to body, what will be priority, what will be the priority that HTML or CSS will take? That is background image. It will go for background image. If it is not able to display the background image, then it will shift to background color, right? So what will be the syntax? This is the syntax that this is the output that you will have an image in your background of HTML page, right? Now you can see that this is one image which is getting repeated, right? So this is an owl and this owl's image is getting repeated. This is repeated by default horizontally also, and it is also repeated vertically also. Here I have not displayed the whole page, but if you have the larger window, you practice at home and you can see that if there is a small image, that image will be particularly repeated horizontally as well as vertically all over the page. That is the by default characteristic, that your image in background will be repeated. Clear? Now let us study this the supporting properties of background image, and in that the first property is background size. By default, whatever size of image it is that you have stored, it will take that size of the image and it will try to display in your browser window. But it is a possibility that you want to customize the size of the image that you want to get displayed in the background of your element, and for that we have background size property, right? So there are various values for background size which are possible. Here you can see that, for example, I have two elements, right? So this hash example 1 and hash example 2, what it will be exactly? There are two different elements, and for the first element I have given ID's value, that is example 1, right? So that is hash is taken when you want to select the ID attributes value, that we have already studied in the previous lecture of selectors, right? If you are not aware, please go through that lecture. So here you have one element, you want to set the background for that particular element, and the background size property is specified only when you set the background image. So here I have already specified the background image, and for background size you are specifying auto. Auto, it means it will take the automatic or by default size of the image. So for example, this you can see that automatically there is an image which is covering my browser window, right? So this is a mountains image, it has been stretched, it is not coming properly because it may be a larger image, and I have set it automatically by default size, right? Now there is another possibility. For example, if you want to set customized size for your background image, you can specify width and height of your image. The first, you can see over here that I have written two numbers, 300 pixel and 100 pixel. Now 300 px, that is for the width of my image, and 100 px is for my height. So here you can see that when you customize your image size, it displays the output differently, right? So this is the 300 pixel width which the background image has taken, and 100 pixel height it has taken. Why so? Because you have specified custom background size for your background image. The main thing which you need to understand is background size is not a property to be used alone. It is a supporting property for background image. So if you want to use background size, the first property or the mandatory property that needs to be set is background image. Now again, let us see what are the possible values which you can give in background size. So first property we have already studied is auto. Now when you are specifying auto, even if you are not specifying auto, it will by default take this auto property. So this is a default value, and in this default value the background image will be displayed in its original size. Whatever size of the image is that it will take, right? The next is length. Now you can specify the length in pixels that we have also seen. The first value you can write two values without any comma. They are space separated values, right? So you recall that I have written 300 px space 100 px. So the first value was width of the image that you want to set, and the second value was height of the image that you want to set. The next value or the possible value you can give is percentage, right? So you can also specify your width and height in percentage value. Again, the first value of percentage will be width and the second value will be height. It sets the width and height of the background image in percent of the parent element, right? So whatever parent element you have, it will take it as 100%, and reference to that parent element it will give the background image size. Okay, the next is cover. So you can write background hyphen size colon cover. Whenever you are writing this cover, it means it will resize the whole background image to cover the entire container. Whatever element you are specifying, it will stretch the background image and it will try to contain the whole container, even though some of the image is cropped or the edges are not proper. It will try to cover the whole container. And the last is contain. Contain, it means it will not cut the image. It will make sure that your image is fully visible in your element. So what is the basic difference between cover and contain? Cover, it means it will, if there is a small image and if the elements, you can say the ratio is very high, okay, and if you want that your image should be repeated only once but it should cover the whole container, you will use cover. So it is a possibility that your whole image is not visible, it is cutting from your edges. But if you are writing contain, it means your image is displayed properly, it is visible. Okay, the next is background position. Now it is a possibility that you want to specify a background image in a particular position for your element. For that thing you can specify background hyphen position property. So here you can see the first thing that I have specified is background image. Again, this background position is not a individual property. This is only specified when you are using background image property. So the mandatory property which you have to specify is background image, which I have already specified. Here background repeat and attachment are written. Just skip that, we will learn what is background repeat. Background position you focus on. What is the background position that I have written? I have written center top. It means that whatever image that is being displayed on the element selector that we have written over here is body. So your image has been displayed by in your HTML body, whole HTML body, right? So what is the position that you want for your image? It is the center top, right? So there are different positions that we will see, possible values of positions that can be used. That is, you can use top left, center top, and you can use top right, right? So these all are the properties that you can use. So this is not the whole web page, so you might get confused, but this is the center top property of your background image that has been displayed. Okay, now what are the different background positions for the image that you can use? These are the hard coded values that you can use: left top, left center, left top, left center, and you can say left bottom is on the left hand side, bottom side. Then there is right top, right center, right bottom, center top, center center, and center bottom, right? So these are the property names. So left top, left center, left bottom, center top, center center, center bottom, right top, right top, center right, and right bottom, right? So these are the different property names that you can give. But what if you still want to customize it? Because it is a possibility that you don't want it exactly at the top left, but instead you want it somewhere in between the top left and center left, right? So what is there any way in which you can specify the customized position of your image? Yes, there are two different ways in which you can customize the background position of your background image. The first is by specifying the percentage X%, Y%. Now X% is the left side value, the horizontal value, and the value. So you can see over here that you can also specify it in percentage, as well as you can specify it in pixels. That is again the horizontal value you have to specify in the first position, as well as the vertical value you have to specify in your second position. So whatever horizontal pixels, so the top left corner, if you are specifying for percentage also, it is 0%, 0%, and for pixel also it is 0px, 0px, that is the top left position. Accordingly it will increase the horizontal as well as the vertical value, right? Now the next property of background is background repeat. Now we have already seen that if you are specifying the background image, by default it is repeating horizontally as well as vertically. Now if you want to explicitly say that my image should repeat only horizontally or it should repeat only vertically, you can use background repeat property. So what is background repeat property used for? Background repeat property sets how your background image should be repeated. So what is the first property which is mandatory for background repeat? Again, it is background hyphen image, right? So this is a mandatory property because you want to specify background repeat for what? Background repeat for image. All the properties that we are seeing are the supporting properties for background image. So if you don't write background image property, and if you write these properties that are supporting, there will be of no use, right? So here I have written background hyphen repeat, that is a property name, background hyphen repeat. Possible values are repeat, repeat hyphen X, repeat hyphen Y. Repeat X, it means my image should be repeated horizontally. So here you can see there will be a small image which is repeated horizontally, right? That is repeated only once because it is only horizontal repeat. Okay. Instead of that, if you had written repeat hyphen Y, what would have happened? This image which is repeated horizontally, instead of that it would have repeated only vertically. By default it is repeat, it means it is also repeated horizontally and vertically. So your image is being repeated all over the page. That is the first property. Your background image is repeated vertically as well as horizontally. Now in this property, if that is which is a default property, the image will be clipped if it does not fit in your particular browser window. The next property is repeat -x, that is if you want to repeat your image only horizontally. The next property is repeat -y, that is if you want to repeat your image vertically. Now there are at times when you don't want to repeat your image at all, you want that there should be only one image, and I will specify the size for that image, I will specify the position for that image, but I don't want that image to be repeated. Then what is the property that you have to use? Property value. For background repeat property, you may specify no -repeat. It means your image will stop repeating, it will only display once and it will stop repeating itself either vertically, horizontally, anyway, right? So these are the possible values for background repeat property, and these are some of the supporting properties of background image. And this was all for today's lecture, in which we have studied font color, background color and background image properties. Thank you.